not sure if we call it bowling or bowls, but to tell me a little bit more about bowls, at least in the Cape Town area, is the head of marketing for Western Province Bowls, Taz Bright. We've got Taz on the line with us now. Taz, fantastic to have you on the line. How are things on your side?
Good morning, JP. Thanks for having me on your show. Yes, it's bowls and all good on our side. For the last 2 years, we have been doing a lot of development and exposure for the sport. And it's seen a lot of interest from the juniors through to the older people, but it's really no longer a sport for brown shoes and brown bowls. We've got a lot of color coming into the sport, a lot of youngsters, and it's been a great 2 years in the sport.
When you talk about brown shoes and white slacks, are you saying that bowls is reforming itself and you're bringing more youngsters into the sport?
Absolutely. 2017, bowls became a sport at schools. So we've been doing an awareness program. So we've covered about 20 schools where we go in and we introduce the sport. Naturally, about 95% of the children haven't heard of it before. But yeah, they get to roll a ball, they share it with their parents, and it's really no longer only the old playing, I should put it like that.
So that's quite exciting. I mean, so you've got bowls now at school level. I mean, this adds a whole new dynamic to. But where do they play? I mean, do the schools have bowling greens, or do they join a club?
Unfortunately, well, the schools don't, but most of our neighborhoods are bowling clubs. So we link the schools to their local club, and we've been training teachers to take the responsibility and the coaching for their kids, and they can leave in the school bus or walk across the road to a bowling club and introduce the sport to them, which is actually, it's really worked. So the teachers become the coaches. The clubs supply the bowls. Western Province has a lot of smaller sets of bowls now, which we got from the lotto. And the teachers are the coaches, and the clubs are more than happy to be hosting these young juniors that are running across the green, running circles around the oldies, and they're really enjoying the sport. In fact, last year our membership increased by about 200 juniors.
Wow.
So hopefully after COVID we can do it again.
And then from a competition point of view, where do the kids go? I mean, once you're now at a school and you join a club and you start playing bowls, do they then go on to compete against each other, or they compete against other clubs or other schools?
JP, we 20 years behind Australia at the moment, but foundation within our schools. So with the 10 schools that we've got, they play inter-schools competitions, and slowly we're going to get the juniors to play at a Western Province level, where with adults as well. But we're building the blocks, we're building the foundations with our juniors at the moment. But there's a lot of competitions out there. You can play a game from Tuesday to Sunday of any week, and we are including our juniors in that. And they're going to be having singles Western Province competitions, and you have pairs, and we're going to get them all involved at all the levels.
We've, over the last few years, seen quite a lot of exposure for bowls at an international level, where we've seen some world championship individuals and world championship competitions. How are we doing from a competition perspective?
It's are you referring to coming out of Western Province or on a South African level?
I think from both. I mean, we want to obviously know how our athletes are doing in the Western Cape, and we want to know how we're competing. But I think it's a great question for our viewers to know that as South Africa, if we're competing, are we good at what we do? Does South Africa do okay?
Yes. South Africa is doing very well. I don't know all the stats offhand, but at the last time when they went overseas, our Springboks got gold, silvers, and bronze. So when they do compete nationally, we're definitely within the top 3, I would say. Yeah. And our disability bowlers are also right at the top there, which is great.
Well, that's also good to know, because Western Cape physically disabled sport is, of course, one of our codes, and it's a code that we look for a lot of exposure there as well. So that's good to know that we've got some activity in that code. Daz, we also have to ask you if people want to join, if kids want to join, if adults want to join, how do you get into it? Where do you start? How do you find out more?
I would say the best part is to go. The best place is to go to our website, westernprovincebowls.co.za.
Yep.
Schools can phone in. I go around and do the introductions. We've got a lot of people. We've got a standing committee for coaches that are very involved and happy to go into clubs and assist. As I mentioned earlier, we've got bowls, which we can share with the clubs. Adults, just find your local bowling club. There are 34 in Western Province, and they all want to see you and coach you.
Yeah, we're always driving down the road somewhere, and you see bowls on the side. I mean, that's the one thing about bowls, is that for some or other reason, bowls clubs are always visible from a road when you drive on the road, which is interesting.
Yes, no, pop in and just walk in and try it. If you don't try it, you don't know, and you're missing out if you don't try.
Taz, we were just checking up with you in terms of the process to get started with the folks that do want to bowl. If you want to, I'm sure most people want to buy their own set of bowls. For the folks, for adults, then is it tricky to do?
You can buy bowls. There are various bowl shops at bowling clubs. So that's also on our website, and then you buy a set of bowls. You need flat shoes and a set of bowls and UA4 wear. Ships are all very different across the district, and you just pay a small affiliation to the federation, and you're good to roll.
There we go, folks. Taz Bright, Western Province Bowls, still in the background there. Unfortunately, some technical challenge there. Well, the data, it seems to come and go, but great they're chatting with Bowls, and that we know now that Bowls is back at play, obviously according to the regulations as allowed by government. Folks, stick around. We'll still be catching up with Patrick Collins. He is the president of Western Cape Fencing. You'll remember, of course, that not so long ago we had the Yantolo twins on, and now we'll catch up with their coach, President Patrick Collins, back in a second. Don't go away.